year. I saw a statistic the other day that in the last 18 years, ASU has gone on strike for 15 times. So that's even alarming, and it's still on this same issue. And academic allowances, review of 1999 negotiation and stuff. Now let's put the record very straight. The first thing that happens between a private investor and a public investor is this: the model the university is adopting.
Okay.
The
Hello? Okay.
The excess fund, that's on the one hand. You must generate the fund. You must know the margin between profit and loss. And then the surplus value on top of it is what we determine.
Oh my. Hello? Okay. Oh. Usually I would never give the village people credit because I'm a man that believes in spiritual forces and also believes that I operate at a higher level. But whenever the solution to a problem is about to be unveiled, whenever something that will help your destiny about to happen is disrupted, the village people might just be involved. Why is it that now that we want to solve this ASU problem once and for all, the network is behaving anyhow? I'm going to have to reconnect with my guest because this problem must be solved. Please stay with us. Still hard facts. I've reconnected with my guest, Dr. Isaac Uwadiunor. You're welcome back once again.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you were speaking about the model.
Yes. The model that is adopted is a very major concern. The federal government is very liberal. The private universities are conservative of a sort. That's number one. Then the second thing about the model is that federal government has so many paraphernalia, in their administrative structure, which the state, which most of these private universities have actually scaled down. For instance, it's a luxury in most universities to have a vice chancellor, deputy vice chancellor admin, deputy vice chancellor administration. you won't find that. I actually sent you something today
Yeah.
using the model of that university, which is one of the most competitive universities. But you see, we also have sentiment with respect to public university. We have introduced element of tribalism, and nepotism. Let me not use the word corruption there, because if you use corruption, they will say you are insensitive. That's another side. So when you mention such things, they will say you are not being realistic. But the truth of the matter is this: everybody wants its geographical location to be represented in private university, and so you see that actually is responsible why a particular ethnic group will occupy a particular position in the university, and when they occupy that position in the university, it becomes a problem. You say this is our tribe. Our tribe is responsible for this or this. So that's it. But in a private university, the model is very clear. Anybody who can deliver the goods is actually chosen, and he does that. He knows that his time is there. Nobody is asking for extension. So that's it. And then when it comes to selecting the principal officers of the university, you don't need to go to heaven to select the principal officers of the university. If the people are competent, they do the job. If they're not competent, they leave the place. But that is what you don't find in most government university or public university. So that is one. And most importantly, also understand that most of these private universities are very entrepreneurial by design.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So by design, they're entrepreneurial. They know what to do. Everybody has a target to deliver. But in federal, most of these government universities, what target are you delivering? So the money has not come from January till November. Federal government has not released allocation. When it is not time to do the job, what do you do in that respect? You wait. The budget is carried over to the next year, and so the issue of accountability is not there. These are the models that are keeping the private university running. Not that they are doing anything spectacular.
Okay, so let's treat the universities like a business. Let's say that the federal government is not involved in funding public universities. Can they be self-sufficient with the tuition and all the sources of revenue? Can Uniport, Uniben, UNN, right? Most public universities, can they run themselves based on the money that they have access to?
To tell you that they cannot run themselves is to say, that it's not bringing in money. Every business has a way of, restocking and do what it's supposed to do. Let's take the first university you mentioned. There are some public universities in Nigeria that are doing undergraduate program. They are doing, what's it called? This sandwich program. They are doing masters. They are doing PhD. They have campuses outside where, in fact, the population of the schools is in excess. Take for instance, I think somebody was saying the other day, one university in Rivers State is 69,000, the entire population, for all the programs that they run. If all of them pay their fees, don't you think it will do the justice to it? But the truth of the matter is this: government has allocation. This TFA that they said they are doing is a big problem. That's number one. Then number two is that every tenured, principal officers of the university have one issue or the other, to address. Some will come and tell you that they want to do infrastructure. Others will come and tell you that they want to do development. By the time you put all of them together, there is actually no vision. So most of the people who are running the university will need to go back again and do a business model on how to run an effective university with results. That's one aspect again that you should look at. But a private university, they are certain. They can tell you that this year what we have is 15 million. Next year, next year, they will tell you that it has grown from 16 million to 32 million, and then like that, geometrically, it will keep increasing. So, university can actually.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to try to sort this out a second time, but the good thing is we are very close to a break. After that break, we wrap up conversations. Stay with us. that while it might seem like there are 1 million students in universities, if you add up the tuition, it's able to run. We know that students are notorious for not paying fees. As a matter of fact, it's a challenge in most public universities trying to drive students to get them to pay. Sometimes you have a student in final year and they boldly tell you they've not paid their school fees from second year. These are the challenges that they face as against a
Sam,
private university that
Sam,
does not have
Sam,
that.
my brother, let's be very objective. Before you take up a program in school, you know you will pay your school fees. So
True.
those who graduate from private university don't pay their school fees. Parents or students will pay school fees when they know that the time frame for their program is fixed. You are doing 4-year program, and the program ends on the 4th year. So what happens? Won't you pay your school fees? The reason why we do that is still the same sentiment that I'm telling you. People don't pay school fees because they feel there is a way out of it in public university. There will always be sentiment, somebody coming to advocate for them, that this thing that you are doing, just have compassion on them. If not, people are willing to pay school fees. Make no mistake about that. Let's not use the school fees issue. After all, if people in private university pay, and they even pay before they come in, even before they start their program proper, it is possible. The university is not such that you will go, you own, the day you want to go, you. Of course, some of us ran programs like that, and it was very painful. So it's not like that. If you say something about school fees, students are willing to pay, but there are conditions attached to it. The school must have population, because the school business is a business of number one. Then number two is that there must be the way to enforce. In enforcing it, it's possible that you can do that.
Okay. Secondly, thirdly, or fourthly, I'm not quite sure what point I'm at. We know that public education is highly subsidized. One of the many reasons why people choose public universities is because it is relatively affordable, as against the private, where you pay, in many cases, in millions. So, with the subsidy on education, would we still expect that the public universities, with the mega fees that they collect, be able to run themselves?
Sam, this line of thought you are following, I don't think I subscribe to that.
No, but it is subsidized now, Doc.
No. If somebody is paying the equivalent of 800,000, okay, you are saying there is subsidy in education. What is the subsidy in the education? That is, what is the difference between what is paid and the subsidy? Let's know. It is the right of government to subsidize education, no doubt about that. But let's know how much government is putting in for every individual in the name of subsidy. Then those who are going into school can plan ahead of time. They can look for loan, just like what the president is doing. They can use that loan to augment. But if you say we are subsidizing education, is that the reason why the lecturers should not be paid? Is that the reason why students should not learn in a very proper environment? Is that the reason why infrastructure should not be provided for students? Is that the reason why a lecturer will resume work by 8 o'clock in the morning and he will teach students almost 700 in a class in the name of GST? By the end of the day, the lecturer is struggling to turn in the result. And when he turns in the result, you are telling him that his earned academic allowances will not be paid until the next 4 years. Where is it done? Those are the things. Students are willing to pay if there is value. And then that will even minimize more people coming to the university, because before you come to the university, you would have prepared yourself. If the phone you have is not available, you know that there's a government subsidy, then you can actually ask for grants. The university is an open environment. There are people who are ready to give scholarship. Then you can even earn some of this your fee from your academic performance. There are rewards system like that. Let's not say students are not willing to pay. Students are willing to pay only when they know that they have good value, and then there will be employment after graduation. Students are willing to pay.
Okay. So with the back and forth between federal government and ASU, and this is yet another episode, what would you suggest?
Sam, you know what I will say? As somebody who is into academics, the only place where we recruit people for the future is in the school. If you shut down the university now for another 3 months, you have killed a generation for 4 years. I don't know whether I get the point. So I want to lend my voice to federal government. Please look into the demands of the academic staff, of universities, whether Polytechnic or SAMU or as the name may be, you look into their demand. At least let's start from a place of position where the people can go back to the classroom. Now, in the last 1 week, today is Friday now, for a whole 1 week, nothing has been done. Do you know the losses we have suffered in the academic environment? Those who are hoping to graduate by December or perhaps January now, their time of graduation has been shelved. It has to be moved forward again by 2 weeks. Government should please help. Let these lecturers come back to the classroom again, and so that our institution can begin to boom again with life. That's my appeal. I'm lending my voice to it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Doctor. Always beautiful doing this with you. Have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day. God bless you.
God bless you too. All right. Now it's you and I. We know the problems. We've heard the solutions. Now is the time for personal responsibility. My question is simple. Would you be willing to pay more for or to a public university to ensure that they continue running? Now, also has its problems with the federal government. It's a back and forth. It's an impasse. And this is where we are. If one of the resolutions is that we will now run ourselves, we will not rely as heavily on federal government, that means that fees would be increased so that they can afford to. Will you, as a Nigerian, you as a graduate, you who has a child who will very likely go to school or who is currently in school, be willing to pay more and pay on time so that public universities can run? That's my question. 0817 923 0002. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening, what's your name?
My name is Chief Comrade Break.
Go ahead.
Sam, I feel that it's not the money, it's the will. It's the will to carry out the education. The issue is that the government does not have the political will. Or let me say they have the political will, but they are lacking implementation. Now, tell me, Sam, how much they are realizing from JAMB, only sales of JAMB form? How much the schools are making concerning post-UMT? How much are they realizing for tuition fees and defense fee? How much are they realizing?
Braid,
Yes.
does JAM money go to the universities?
Is it not going to the federal government?
Yeah, federal government, not universities.
And what is the federal government doing with those money? Also, let us look at handouts that the children are buying, textbooks. They buy all these things. And are we really see the lecturers or the Senate putting it back to the school?
Braid, I'm not trying to counter you, but not every school engages in handout. As a matter of fact, we were not made to buy handout in school. It was optional. You were not forced to buy even textbooks, right? That was a policy.
Sam, I shock you that today is a force that you must buy it. Today is force that you must buy handout, you must buy textbook. If not, lecturers will fail your children. And Sam, let us look at it today. Even at their assignment today, their test, the children paid for it. So parents are paying whooping sum when they talk about academics. But our government, that is why I said that we have strong men but weaker institutions.
Okay.
Their children is out of this country. Their children never suffer what our children are suffering. That is why they turn back to academics. If not, our Nigerian academics should be able to compete with whatever country you may talk about.
I have to take the next call. Thank you very much. Uduak calls from Port Harcourt. Hello, Uduak.
Yeah, good evening, Sam.
Good evening.
Okay, so my take on this to is that most public universities are heavily subsidized, as you have said. I remember in school when I looked at the tuition fee for foreign students, it was in dollars, over $1,000 or more.
Yeah.
When we are paying about 100,000. So if you look at the tuition fee for the fees, what they call school fees in public universities,
Yeah.
it's usually not tuition. It's the combination of different things that they put together, security, ICT here and there, compared to the private universities where they actually put tuition fees, which is in millions. So if you're telling the public universities to run like the private universities, the fees is going to be really high.
Yeah.
I don't think people can really afford it.
Will you be willing to pay more? Right. So I'm asking personal questions. I don't know, but well, you should be done with school. But for your kids, or even if you were to enroll,
That would depend on the amount. It
Okay.
will be very high, and I'm not so sure I'll be willing to pay.
Okay. Well, I seem to have a conversation coming up, which I'll have to hold at this time. Please stay with us.